wanted to do this real quick and show you how to put the fangs onto the nozzles when you have either the Ultimates or the Magnum steering. The way these are made, there's a right and a left. Now if you're going to go to a twin engine set, what you do is you have your side force stabilizer from the steering system, and it has the play in it like it's supposed to, and the purpose for that is so that the bolt that the nozzle pivots on isn't binding up. That lets the nozzle turn free. When you push the steering on there, it comes down and these are stops. Now what we've done is we've added an upgrade to this called the fangs, and what they do is they actually go forward of the pivot point on the nozzle and make a power steering, and it's really nice power steering. It also helps control the reverse and gives you a better control by directing the water coming out of the bottom of the nozzle down here. Now, to put these on, it's a little tricky, but it's not hard. You can put them on while your steering's already on there. I've taken everything off just to make it easy to get to, but you can literally put this on while it's on the boat and while your steering and reverse and everything are connected. You don't have to take it off. The trick is on the forward, the two forward screws, if you have the base plates that already have the holes, you have to put the screws up from the bottom. Now the trick to that is, if you're putting the one on the right side of the boat with the steering arms in the way of the access to the bolt, you take a little piece of tape and you tape the nut into the open end part of the wrench, not the box end, but the open end part of the wrench. So then when you go to put your part on, you can fit the nut right in there. And if my wrists will cooperate here. Hard time with carpal tunnel this week. Okay, so we got Allen wrench, and this will give you access to the Allen wrench end of the bolt. If you don't, you can't put it on any other way. And if you put it on upside down, if you put the bolt in from the top before you put the plate on, you'd be okay, except you could never tighten it up if it came loose or remove it without taking the plate off. So if you want to be able to do this with the plate on, that little trick with the tape on the wrench works good. Now the holes are lined up here. So now you have the one fin on and the bolts in the front. The bolts have different lengths. If you notice that for going through two parts like the plate and the front of the fang, you need a shorter bolt. But if you're going to put the locking tab on, which is the next step, the locking tab would make it go through three parts, so you obviously have to have a longer bolt. Now, the locking tab locks right into that detent in the, or recess in the nozzle. And then the nut goes on the bottom. I need to buy new wrists, I swear. The nut goes on the bottom, and tighten it up just a little. I'm not going to really hammer it, but you can tighten it up real hard. You're going to notice there's a space there. There's a space there on purpose because this plate is actually curved. All right? And what happens now is you've got the fin on the outside of the nozzle for a twin engine setup. This is the pivot point. You can see that the pivot point would be like right here. So this much of the fin is forward of the pivot point, and that's what catches the water and actually turns the nozzles for you, and it literally makes a power steering effect. So now let's say you have a single engine. Then you'd repeat the steps on this side. You'd have the extra tab going in there, the long screw there, the shorter one there, and put it in facing down. And you've got two fins. You've got these, when they're connected up, the water coming out of here is more direct, because these are pretty close to the nozzle. It's more directed towards the front of the boat, and it controls it, and it actually improves the control in reverse. if you wanted to put, let's say this is a single application, and wouldn't matter single or double, if you want to put them on the plate before you install the plate, if you're doing it all at one time, you can attach them in the front, okay? And then when you put your plate on, okay, make sure it's loose until you put these tabs. Once you put these locking tabs on, there's no play there, but this is still got the play, okay? And that's where it's important. So it's really not a big deal. You can put these on first, put the plate on, then put your locking tabs in, and the locking tabs use just longer bolts, and then put your rest of your steering on. But most people would be putting it on after they have the steering. So this would be a single. And this will do the same thing here. We're going to put the short one, we're going to put it in from the bottom, which on this particular side it wouldn't really be a problem because you got access to the top pretty easily. And get my hands in here to get them to work. This it sucks to get old. Alright, so now I got the tab here. I get the longer one. It goes in and goes down. And why you want it down in this side is because you don't want your reverse buckets coming down. You don't want your reverse bucket hitting the nut. You know, you want the lower profile. So there we go. And then it's basically it's really not hard to do if your hands work. Good Lord, I hate to have surgery because then I'm going to be out of commission for a while. But this is nothing new for me. Alright, so here's your fangs, and these things really, it makes such a big difference, and you can drive wide open and steer with like one finger, and it counters the forces. So it actually puts less stress on the steering cable, it puts less stress on the helm, and you don't have to change the gear ratio in the helm or any of that. It really does work nice. So you can even do the two on each nozzle on the twin engine, but that's going to cost more money. So what I tried to do is I tried to make it so you could have one fin on the outside of each nozzle, which is exposed the most because of the shape of the hull, and they do the most, and save some money there. Or, you know, you can do it either way. So it's your call there, but it's just that simple. There's really nothing to it. It goes on there. So now you see what it would look like on a newer nozzle with the reverse. There's the fang. There's your ultimate steering there. Again, it works with the magnums too. The only thing it won't work on is the FSH because they got that big plate coming right up and they would hit it. So that's the only one I really can't have it working on. But everything fits in there really nice and neat.